welcome to RS Craftworks. Richie here, and today it's the start of my great guitar build-off series for 2021. Now, I've already just drawn something. I would have shown you the time-lapse by now, or maybe I'll show it to you right now. And yeah, so let's get a close-up on that. Let's just get straight to business here. This is totally not take 5,000 of this. So, try to explain what I've done here. I'm sorry, I kind of made a mess in the shed. Okay, the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021 build is going to be a through-neck design, semi-hollow, fan-fret guitar. And that's it, basically. Nothing else to talk about. Now there is. The sound holes here I've put in sort of interesting places. They may change in shape depending on how I feel. But one thing that's going to be certain is inside the sound holes is going to be gear trains. I'm going to make my own gear trains somehow, making them. They're going to be made of wood. But I will try my best to make a gear train just to make it look a bit more interesting than normal sound holes. They will be solid so they don't rattle. Traditional Stratocaster setup, so 3 single core pickups with a traditional Stratocaster control system. And yeah, it's going to be fan fret, so I need to find a fan fret bridge somewhere. Still haven't got half the hardware for this. I've only got the neck and the fingerboard, as you can see here. The headstock design may change. I kind of like the gear work sort of vibe there, but that may change depending on how I feel. More than likely I'm going to look at it later and hate it. But yeah, horns, I still haven't decided what the final shape of the horns are. I'll probably look at the piece of wood that I get to let that decide what the shape of the horns will be. But that is the premise. This one's called the RS Clockworks because for some reason I was fascinated with Clockworks, and that was the first thing that came to my brain when Ben Crow announced the new tournament, competition, whatever. And yeah, inlays for the fretboard are going to be clock hands pointing for 6 o'clock, happy hour. That's the best I could come up with, best reasoning. And there will be gearworks going through the fretboard as well. So that's the idea for my Great Guitar Build-Off. So that's the premise. We'll see if I actually make it look like this, or if it will look completely different by the end of this build. Luckily, there's a lot more time to work on it, so but that's no excuse. Let's just get on with the build, shall we? Slight confession to make. It's maybe been a week or two since I drew the guitar. Hopefully I still know what I'm doing. Alright then, filming traditionally. Kind of odd, actually. Now, here's the fingerboard that I bought for this guitar this time. Zero Cote, not the most figured, but it's quite a nice piece of this knot hole type figure in it. I really got to stop getting on tangents. But as you can see, I have clearly marked out where my frets are going. I did that using a online fret scale calculator, because this is 25.5 Fender scale and a 24.5. I've gone for an inch difference just to get some sort of angle going. And the way I'm going to cut this is one of David Barron's 90-degree guides. This is how I'm going to cut the slots in. So I just line it up as best as I can with each line going right next to my silver line, and then I'll be using my Japanese, this is basically a dovetailing saw, but it actually is the perfect curve for cutting fret slots as well, because it's just a very thin curved saw. So I'll be using that. I'll clamp this in place so it doesn't rock around while I'm trying to saw, and gently and taking my time sawing each slot. And I've got 24 of them because I'm mental, if this camera would focus. Yep. So just got to get on with that, taking my time, and hopefully I'll actually film doing it this time. All right, so, oops, that is the fingerboard done. And you can see I've got the angled nut end, and I'm going to do a little something here. I might make some sort of textured scallop of some sort just for the end piece. I'm not going to do a scallop fretboard because plenty of people are doing that, I'm sure. But that is that done and dusted. It was remarkably easy actually doing it with the 90-degree guide. I mean, David Barron, obviously this is a David Barron one, easily available. I'm pretty sure you can buy it on classichandtools.com now. And of course, I bought this from him directly from his website, davidbarronfurniture.co.uk. I don't know if he's still selling them, but if he is, go grab yourself one. Very useful for general woodworking and for fretboard slotting, apparently. So that made it incredibly easy. Obviously, if I can get in, my cuts are not consistent because I am no machine. Also, I'm an amateur, but that's easily dealt with. I am going to bind this fretboard anyway. And just in case anybody's wondering, my new vise. What I did, I have this Q blank of an Indian rosewood for something I was planning to make handles for screwdrivers, but it's a lot more difficult than you expect. And all I did was I just hot glued the fretboard to this board so I can clamp it in my vise and it would clear the lip of the 90-degree guide. The reason I used hot glue, and see, it's easy. All you do is just a blob, and I managed to get a knife in between the gaps here and cut it straight off, and these will scrape off easily, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, that's the fretboard slotted, and now it's actually time to get on with the neck blank itself now. Yeah, so here I am, I've got it in the orientation I want. Now I've got to deal with the nitty gritty of the operation. So it's a little bit complicated because I've got several laminations to do here. And I've got veneers to deal with as well. So it's going to be a bit full on. I'll try my best to get it done as cleanly as I possibly can. But I do have a secret ingredient. I'm going to try the salt trick, which I have stolen from my grandparents. Hopefully they didn't ask too many questions. But yeah, before I do anything though, I'm going to drop everything on the floor and I'm going to sand these with a little bit of sandpaper just to give them a bit more hold power. That'll be the next step, so, but I won't bother filming that because that's going to be boring, so I will film when I actually get to the glue up. So now I'm going to walk 10 miles over to the camera. Yeah. Ahoy hoy. Oh gosh, I need to clean this place up. Anyway, the neck blank is clamped up to probably excessiveness. The joints are all pretty easy to get together before the clamps were put on. And I've overkilled it with clamps, but then I don't think you can ever overkill with clamps unless you actually crush your project. I've gone on a tangent again, haven't I? So the neck blank is glued up. I'm just going to let it set up and we'll see what the situation is. The next day I'll come in here and we'll get on to laminating one more portion. I'm going to do something slightly weird. I say weird, we'll see what it looks like when I actually do it, if I actually do it as well. This will do for the first video of the Great Guitar Build-Off, depending on what I've shown you. I may have cut out entire sections just to make it within the 15 minutes of YouTube videos for some reason. But yeah, so this will do for the first video. and I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I hope you're enjoying my videos here, and I hope for all the participants taking part, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are getting excited and you are coming up with some of the most amazing designs out there. Last year's was inspiration plus, like you just look through the Instagram feeds and ridiculous. And I've learned a few lessons from those, and hopefully I can put them into practice now. So to all the participants out there, good luck. I'm gunning for you because you are now my enemies. I'm joking. Please don't think of me as an enemy. I don't want enemies, not at this point. But yeah, good luck to everyone out there, and everybody else who is just witnessing all the greatness that's happening. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you will stick with us throughout this entire process and for the future. So take care, everybody, and stay safe, stay warm, or stay cool, depending on what country you live in. And yeah, see you guys.